How did we get to this point? And what has been a major factor in the global expansion that Jehovah's organization has experienced? And what opportunities are open in the field for our young ones?
Oh yeah, you thought it had all ended for this cult trying to indoctrinate people when Milhouse announced they were lowering the age in which you can become a cult volunteer earlier in this annual meeting of the Jehovah's Witnesses? Mark Sanderson is here to let us know about the other kinds of work that teenagers can do for free now for this cult.
When you think of a missionary, perhaps you think of someone older who has been preaching for many years. But of course, many were very young when they started. In fact, in the mid to late 1940s, 30% of the missionaries sent from Gilead were under 24 years of age. They were young, energetic, full of life, willing to accept assignments around the world, and they accomplished incredible things. For instance, in 1943, we were preaching in 54 lands, and the number of publishers was still relatively small. Jehovah blessed their hard work and zeal. In just 5 years, the number of publishers worldwide nearly doubled. By 1953, it had doubled again, and the reach of Jehovah's organization expanded to 143 lands.
You can really feel how nostalgic this cult was for the time when they had plenty of young people at their disposal to work for free for this cult, instead of the geriatrics they have at Bethel today. Let's skip to the facts that Santa Claus has to show us that this religion is growing now more than ever. I bet he has more than just a couple of cherry-picked examples of growth in a few tiny countries, right?
What has happened just during the past service year? Mozambique had an all-time peak in memorial attendance of well over 400,000. That's more than 4 times the number of publishers in that land. Angola averaged over 900 new missionaries a month, new publishers a month. That's a lot, wow. The Congo branch averaged more than 1,300 new publishers a month. And in Philippines, on average, more than 1,000 were baptized every month. Well, brothers and sisters, in these places that are experiencing rapid growth, there is a huge need for more missionaries.
Wait, so the evidence of growth is just 4 small countries, 3 of which had around 3,000 new converts per month put together? That's less than 0.5% of annual growth in this religion, according to their own numbers. These are the best facts Santa Claus has to back up growth on this religion and him begging for cult recruiters?
So we need many more young people to take up missionary service. Well, that raises the question, how do you become a missionary? Well, the first step is to enter full-time service. And then, after you've been in full-time service for 2 years, what do you need to do? You need to apply for the School for Kingdom Evangelizers. SKE is the door to missionary service. You also need to have the spirit of Isaiah when he said, "Here I am, send me," willing to go wherever the organization might assign you. After you graduate SKE, you could receive an assignment to serve as a temporary special pioneer in your home country so that you can gain experience. And if you do well in that assignment, you could receive an assignment to serve as a missionary in another country. Missionary service is a thrilling opportunity to bring the good news to honest-hearted people in another part of the world. We need young people who want to go and make disciples of people of all the nations.
And that's what Santa Claus wants from his followers, for them to get into working for free for the cult full time, and to be obedient enough to be sent wherever this cult needs them to be sent, first in your country and then outside of it. So all of those places in Africa that you heard needed help, well, unless you already live there, you won't be able to help out. This is nothing but a thinly veiled recruitment speech to get more people to work for free for this cult, in building new places or in whatever other pointless thing the cult decided it wants. And guess what? You can now do that younger than ever.
Well, how old do you need to be to apply for the School for Kingdom Evangelizers? Well, we're very pleased to announce today
that the governing body has decided
that young brothers and sisters 21 years of age or older may now apply to attend SKE. Isn't that exciting and wonderful?
Yep, lowering the age, and I bet it's only a matter of time until they lower it again to 18, the lowest it can possibly legally be. This, again, shows us that they are missing not just Bethelites, but missionaries around the world, volunteers who are willing to do the work outside the cult compound. The fact that they are lowering the age, which is the only properly solid requirement, tells me that they are running low on people willing to go the extra mile for the cult. This, along with the previous speech, is the closest we have gotten so far to an admission of them losing members. After all, they're only focusing on the missionaries and Bethelites because those are the most profitable kinds of Jehovah's Witnesses. But if they are running low on them, it seems more reasonable to conclude that this is a trend across the religion than this being just some kind of isolated phenomena. But Santa Claus still needs to dwell on the adoration of his followers.
When I was just 19 years old, a brother invited me to attend my very first annual meeting. It was a special one, the 100th anniversary of the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, held in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I was so excited, I thought I died and went to heaven.
Get it? Because he believes he actually will go to heaven? This joke literally hinges on how special he is for being an anointed. That's all there is to this joke. It's funny because he's special, so he made a whole joke around how special he is. Do you see how narcissistic you have to be not only to believe you're chosen by God, but to believe you're chosen to lead his people like Moses was? This is super cringe to see, and even more super cringe to realize that I would have fallen for this as a Jehovah's Witness.
We need young ones, as verse 15 says, to be sent out to preach the good news. We need young ones to serve as pioneers and special pioneers and missionaries. We need them to apply for the School for Kingdom Evangelizers.
See? He's literally saying he needs young people to work for free for his cult. He wouldn't be saying this unless this cult was losing members already, specifically young people. And the governing body doesn't know how to keep this religion afloat without slave labor. And Sanderson wants to pressure young people into doing that slave labor one more time.
There are exciting opportunities for our beautiful young people. So, young ones, what will you do? You can now apply for Bethel and construction service at age 18. You can apply for the School for Kingdom Evangelizers at age 21. Put yourself in Jehovah's hands. Make yourself available. You will never regret it.
Yes, you will never regret it because you're not allowed to, because you will be removed from the congregation if you do and you talk about it. But between the previous beg and lowering of requirements for Bethelites and this new beg and lowering of requirements for missionaries, I can now confidently say that we now have the very first proof that this religion is losing members. Remember, if they're changing the rules to make volunteering easier, that means that they are more desperate for volunteers now than when the rules were originally made. And there are only two reasons for it. They're either losing volunteers as an isolated, unexplained event, while literally everything else in this religion keeps growing, as the leaders keep telling us it's growing, or this religion is bleeding members. And the problem has gotten so bad that it has now become an issue for what the governing body actually care about, the bottom line. You can lose thousands of members of all ages every year due to the blood prohibition without them even blinking. But the moment they start losing the kinds of Jehovah's Witnesses that generate the most amount of money for this religion is the moment the governing body has decided the rules must be changed. But that's all for now. I'll be breaking down the annual meeting moment by moment with this and other future videos, so subscribe if you don't want to miss out, and join my Patreons and YouTube supporters if you want to watch these as soon as they are ready.